Welcome to the Three Buds One Podcast, the show where two brothers dive into the depths of conversation, exploring anything and everything. So grab your favorite beverage, light up, and settle in to join the conversation with the Three Buds One Podcast. Because when it comes to exploring the world, it's always better with your buds by your side. Welcome to the Three Buds One Podcast. I'm your co-host Jordan, aka Sloth.
I'm your co-host Wes.
And this is the Three Buds One Podcast. Welcome to episode 4. Thank you so much for tuning in for another week. It's kind of crazy to think about right now. Like, we're already on the 4th episode of the podcast. That's a whole month right there.
4 weeks
doing the
in a row.
podcast.
It is. Being uploaded on May 4th.
The 20th.
Oh, wait, no.
We started 420.
You're right.
By the time this episode comes out.
You're right.
But Wes has a very, very good topic that I think can take up the whole podcast episode, hopefully. Would you like to share it, Wes? Do you remember?
Yes, I do remember. It was about if cannabis is a performance-enhancing drug or not. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So, yeah, I was just wondering on what's your thoughts as to cannabis being a performance-enhancing drug or not. Do you think it is? Do you think it isn't? Do you think it is and maybe it's just not like enough to like ban it? Or like what are your thoughts on this?
Well, here's the thing. What is the definition of a like performance enhancing drug?
All right.
I know there's like steroids, but
correct. So performance enhancing drug, a substance such as an anabolic steroid or human growth hormone that is used illicitly, especially to improve athletic performance.
Okay, so just strictly for better performance, essentially.
Correct.
Like anything that does that.
Right.
I would think so, but it depends on the person, because in my opinion, weed affects everyone slightly different, just like mentally.
Right.
Because it's like, if I take anything more than a few hits, I'm not dialed in. But for you, you can just keep going, and you're just
right.
boom, 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 boom. But I think one thing that you and Dad taught me is that it's not the weed, but it's your mental state and like the person who you are. God damn it. Sorry. The weed isn't doing anything but amplifying who you are. And so if you're a lazy person and you smoke all the time, then you're going to be a lazy smoker,
Right.
lazy stoner, whatever. But if you're productive all the time and you're constantly getting stuff done, then it's going to probably help you focus. And it's going to be a different type of high versus
Right.
like a sluggish high.
Okay. And then, so like with that being said, because I know the NFL has lessened their cannabis drug testing to just once a year. So what do you think about the people that have admitted to smoking before games? Because a lot of people do smoke before games. That way they like feel less pain, because obviously football being a contact sport, you can get hurt very easily, and by the end of the game you feel like you got hit by a truck.
Yeah.
Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's the thing. Like, weed does a lot more than just like, numb pain in a way.
Right.
Um, I've never thought about this before. And like, we even talked about it a little bit before,
Right.
but even then I didn't think about it.
Like actually using it in a way like that instead of just like focus, because there have been NFL players to admit like smoking before games. There's been some to just say that they would smoke after a game because like they feel like they got hit by a truck because of how
Yeah,
much contact they're taking. And so it kind of puts it into perspective. And like, I'm all for it because obviously, like, if it's helping you get through it,
yeah,
like, but obviously it shouldn't be like you doing steroids and all of a sudden like you could run faster and like shit like that.
right.
Weed is not making you run faster.
No, not at all. I feel like in general it should be okay because if anything, like it might help their mind be more clear during the game so they can perform a little better and in a way that can be performance enhancing, but that's
Like,
just clearing your mind.
but
Like that's
yeah,
not
like
anything physical.
right. And like you could think about the people that take anxiety medication before games.
Yeah. Like
If your preferred way
that's
is
straight up
smoking,
chemicals.
right? If you're like prefer smoking a joint or eating an edible or something like that,
Right.
like I feel like that is just the same as taking like a prescribed medication.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it is on the level of steroids use and like stuff like that, because like I said, I don't feel like it makes you run faster or shit like that. You may be more like clear headed, you might be able to focus more. It's anti-inflammatory, so it's going to help with like getting hit and like stuff getting like swollen and shit like that.
Yeah.
um, so like I'm all for that, like, because like you're getting, if you feel like you're getting hit by a truck and you can't like do anything besides like take prescribed medication that doesn't really make you feel that well, I don't necessarily agree with that. Like, if your preferred way is to smoke a joint and take away that pain, you should be able to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, go ahead.
No, you keep going.
Um, like, I always think about Nick Diaz, who was a fighter for the UFC. Um, he was very entertaining and he has a huge fan base. And then all of a sudden, he had a negative drug test for cannabis use. And he ended up getting suspended for 5 years. He couldn't fight for 5 years and he was stuck in a contract. Um, and that really, like, I'm sure impacted his career quite a bit because when he came back, he was not the same fighter.
Yeah.
Stuff like that's a little bit bullshit to me.
Yeah, it just sucks because it's just different times now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, me and T were like even talking about that. God, I don't know when, but just about how times have changed of not just prices, but like the culture of everything. Like kids playing outside. Like the only kids I see outside are like pretty much toddlers, like under 10.
Right.
Everyone else is inside or I guess out in public. I don't know.
Right.
um I lost my train of thought. What was I saying?
talking about like how time's changing and how the culture is changing.
Oh yeah. God, and just like watching older films, the different kinds of jokes back then, what people used to wear, it's just so different now.
Everybody's views on everything is different. Like
Yeah.
everything's changing because now UFC does allow cannabis use. Like I said, the NFL has also um, changed, lessened their time frame or lessened the amount that they drug test for cannabis to once a year. So they're like kind of lenient, like they're still not supposed to do it, but like they get away with it because of the one
It's
time a
only
year
once a
testing.
year, yeah.
But overall, I just agree with being able to do that. Um, like especially like with people that do take medication instead of smoking cannabis medically. Um, they like to me, it's like the same thing.
Yeah.
Like that's your medicine. I could use this as my medicine. And well, yeah,
I agree. And like something to stem off of that is how tough it is to get a job and like trying to pass a drug test, or like not being able to take a job because you can't pass a drug test.
right. Yeah, like, and especially because like some states with it being legal, you still can't. Like, depending on what jobs, they still won't allow it, even
Yeah.
though they still have it set as medically. Um, even if you have a med card, they still won't take you in most cases. But like, I've had jobs allow it, I've had jobs not allow it. But yeah, like it is, times are changing, and I feel like you should be able to choose what medication that you want to use. Like, if you'd rather have some herbs, you could do that. If you want to do full on home remedies, do that instead of going to the store and buying some fucking Mucinex.
Right.
If you have anxiety, smoke a joint instead of going to the doctor and getting prescribed Xanax and other random shit that like are easily addictive. Um,
Right. And it's just a temporary fix.
right,
I mean, in general, like I feel like, man, that's so deep though. Like for me, I only go to the doctor if I'm like absolutely scared for my life, and I'm like,
right,
or just concerned, then I'll go to like just one of those quick little ER things.
right,
um but other than that, it's like I try to stay away from medicine, like medication, unless say like if I go into surgery, I'm going to take the medication.
yeah,
I don't want to feel that shit.
exactly,
um but just day to day, like the most I'll take is ibuprofen or Tylenol for like headaches, some soreness in my body, and then allergy medicine right now because god damn, my allergies are killing me every day right now.
that sucks.
It really does suck. But like I know there's always ways to help with those things in naturally. See,
Right,
like for one with allergies, natural honey has the natural allergens or whatever it is that the bees get from the flowers, and so it kind
right,
of helps your body get a little immune to that.
that's true. Which, real quick, did you know that honey is I think one of two things that never expire.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what the other thing that never expires?
A McDonald's cheeseburger.
Yo, facts. That's fucked. But I'm talking about like some real things, a real ingredient here. But oh my god,
If I had a real ingredient, guess molasses. I don't know if that's a natural ingredient or like a
it comes
natural
from
thing.
molasses is like brown. Fuck, what is it? Molasses is like brown sugar and something. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's right. Other than that, just like a tree sap, but I don't think people use that for a lot of foods. I just know it preserves stuff, so.
Right. Okay, so molasses is a viscous byproduct principally obtained from the refining of sugarcane or sugar beet juice into sugar. Molasses varies in the amount of sugar. It's crushed sugar cane or sugar beets. I never knew that.
I
But
didn't know that either.
the other thing that never expires is salt. Which, if you
Makes
think about it,
sense.
it makes sense because it's just a fucking. We're putting rocks on our food.
Literally. And it tastes good.
It tastes delicious. We're out here eating rocks.
Oh, man. Eating rocks on red steaks. That's the life.
Some French fries.
Oh. We've been eating pretty well, actually. We've at least every night had some veggies with a protein. Like last night, we had chicken breast, and I seasoned it all up. And then some sort of starch. So it's either been potatoes or rice. And we had rice last night.
Okay.
That and not all the time, but sometimes she will. But pretty much every time now, I've been eating the veggies first, then the protein, and then the starch. Honestly, it feels so good. I don't get bloated at all anymore.
That's good.
Yeah.
Man, now you got me all fucking hungry.
Dude, I'm so hungry right now. I had Krispy Kreme donuts and a muffin for breakfast. Talk about eating healthy, and then now this.
Now you're talking about eating a Krispy Kreme donut.
Right.
But have you ever like cooked with cannabis?
No, I want to. Like I want to make my own edibles. Because I hear it's a lot cheaper. And
Right.
apparently they hit a lot harder.
Most, yeah.
And then I would love to just incorporate it into every meal. Say like maybe saute the veggies in it somehow.
That's what I want to do. I want to make butter.
Yeah, like I'd love to make butter like that. Put on nice grilled cheese.
Oh, oh!
Oh, we're a bunch of foodies in here.
Makes me want to kick a fat kid at Kmart to get a
Oh my god.
Oh my
Jesus, man. Calm down.
god. I can never
Add some garlic into that.
Put your steak in it. Ooh, cannabis cowboy butter.
Three Buds, One Podcast, cannabis butter. Get it now.
Get it now. Order it now. There's Zaza butter. But That would be like, that's what I'm like wanting to like move more into. I'd like to cook with it and ingest it that way. That way I'm not smoking all the time.
Yeah.
Make sure my lungs are still good and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, we went way off the performance enhancing drugs.
Yeah, we did. I totally forgot about that. Or do you want to stem off there?
I don't even know.
I'm opening ChatGPT. What kind of topics? Like genre of topic, should I say?
Um, Stoner thoughts, I guess.
Honestly, I'm kind of drawn towards the parallel universes.
See, I don't know too much about that, so maybe you could teach me some.
Oh, you don't know about parallel universes?
Tell me about it, son.
All
Tell me.
right. It's class time, boys. So honestly, I love the whole like different dimensions, like parallel universes. I have the definition of. I'm gonna say what I think it is, and let's compare it to what it actually is.
Okay. Okay.
Let's make a fool out of myself.
All right. All right.
Um,
Are you smarter than a fifth grader?
all right, let's see. So, what I believe a parallel universe is so it's like we have this dimension. We're doing a podcast. There's another universe where, say, everything might be the same, but we're not doing a podcast. But then there might
So
be
pretty
another
much like,
podcast that we do in another universe, but it hits right away.
okay.
Like,
So pretty much like multiverse type shit.
yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Multiverse shit.
So does that kind of go along with simulation theory as well?
I mean, in a way it could. Cause like obviously like if there's a simulation, like when we play NBA 2K, it literally says starting simulation. So
Or simulating next game?
yeah, so you know, just kind of. What was the question?
We're a bunch of Sims playing The Sims. And the Sims are playing The Sims while we're on The Sims playing The
Gosh,
But
getting me
I pretty much
sidetracked.
I asked that, does that kind of go along with simulation theory?
Yeah, simple answer. I would say yes, in the sense of you can have multiple simulations, just like having multiple universes.
Right.
The actual definition of parallel universe. Hold on, I'm trying to read. Yeah, so God, this is physics talk right now. Google says in quantum mechanics, a universe theorized as existing alongside our own, although undetectable. Oh, that's it. Just although undetectable. In fantasy or science fiction, it's a world conceived of as coexisting with and having certain similarities to the known world, but different from it in some fundamental way. So, like in Family Guy, I think they have, like, they show the multiple universes, and it's like, you know, Peter might be wearing green pants in one, but he might be wearing brown pants in another. And that might be
Right.
the only difference.
Right.
So, yeah.
Makes sense.
That's pretty much right. Let's go.
In a way, yeah.
I'm a physics man.
a physics student at a
I went
college near
I
you.
went to Three Buds One Podcast University, aka Harvard.
For a second, that sounded like one of those, like football, like that sounded like one of those football things where the person's like, "My name is Lamar." Or, let's see. So let me find a name real quick. I don't want to use a real name. Fucking. My name is Jose Escobar, left tackle, NYU University. Like, it's so stupid. Like, there's a Key and Peele skit on it and everything. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. It sounds familiar. I think I might have seen that.
They just kept going as like different people,
Yeah.
but
So
yeah.
do you believe that there's parallel universes or like
I
a
mean,
multiverse?
to me, it kind of makes sense. Like, to me and my brain and the way I think it like makes sense to me. So, yes, I believe. I don't know, but I could believe it. Like, if somebody were to tell me that, oh yeah, we did find out, but I might believe it. But I don't know. Um, but at the same time, like something weird in my life that, because like you know how like doppelgangers and shit like that.
Yeah, like there's one person out there that looks exactly the same like you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like stuff like that to me is weird. Because like there was a time when I was in New York. I was very young. My mom was like driving like to school, me to school or something like that, and then all of a sudden I look over and there's somebody on the bike on like a motorcycle, and there's somebody on the back of the motorcycle that looked exactly like my mom while my mom is driving front seat, and I could see her tattoo. Like it looked almost like closely similar to my mom's like frog tattoo on her leg.
Damn. Yeah.
Like that weirded me out.
That's crazy. I don't think I've seen anything like that.
It'll it's a trippy moment. And I wasn't high during that.
You're just some 6-year-old, you just see it, you're like, oh my god, and you're traumatized for life.
Like,
Like,
mom,
is this my
why is there
mom?
mom?
Like watching Goosebumps, and then you see that shit, you're like, hold up, who's real, who's not, who's a plant?
Which one is who are you?
Do you photosynthesize? Get away from me.
Do you sit and bake in the sun? No. You must be
God.
my mom. But yeah, it's crazy to think about stuff like that. It's like what if we're just in a computer right now? And like how our body is like has like a lot of like electricity in a way.
Yeah.
Like we're just a computer. We're walking computers.
Yeah.
You can find like electromagnetic fields in fucking Earth and random places. You could put electromagnetic fields around your guardian to like repel like shit away.
Yeah.
This is diving into some weird shit now.
For me to like stem off what you're saying, like to me, like if we're in a simulation, like so be it. Like
Right.
we're
There's nothing
conscious,
we
we're
could do.
living life. Yeah, there's literally nothing that we can do. This isn't the Matrix. Like like I feel pain, um but it's like if we're in a simulation, so what? the way I think about it with the whole electricity is that's pretty much our soul. Like our soul
Right.
is electricity. That's what keeps us running.
Right.
And so it's like that also in a way plays into like the whole like dimension thing for me, because some people think there's fate, some people think that everything is just based on the
Your
decisions that
your
you make.
script.
Yeah. What I think it is because something that I heard online, this is just, it clicked everything for me. I was like, that sounds pretty like true to me. Um, is we have a set fate, like whenever in our last life we died, um, our soul thinks back on that life, and then we connect with our soul family. And then we essentially plan our whole life out, like the whole next life. So our soul knows exactly what we're going to be doing every second. But the whole purpose of living is just to learn lessons
Just
until
over and
your soul is complete, and then like you can fuck off and do whatever. I don't know.
fuck off and
But God, going so far into this. God, no. Yeah, I think that might have just been it. It might have been a little tangent. I don't know.
right.
But I think it's interesting, because it all kind of mixes in. Uh,
Right.
I guess another thing about the simulation is I think the whole like simulation aspect is just people being on a lower frequency.
Right.
Like they're just less aware than other people.
Right.
And it's like once you kind of work on yourself and you deal with self within your mind and everything like that, and you actually accomplish stuff, then your frequency starts going up, and then you're like, okay, I can kind of see the difference in people now. Whether you can sense their frequencies lower or maybe even higher than yours.
Right.
um so I feel like that's a better way of thinking about it, instead of like the whole like red pill, blue pill.
Are you AI?
Yes. No.
Allen Iverson. But yeah, that makes sense though. Because like a lot of people will get like frustrated with other people, but they don't seem to realize that other people's lives are sometimes just as complicated as your life. Like you don't like you may think that, oh, I'm the only one dealing with this shit, but no. Other people are going through their own shit and you just don't know about it at the same time. So
Yeah.
like that shit's weird. You remember that video of that guy? Are you AI?
No. Oh yeah, with people just like going through stuff. um that's why you just like, I try not to have any road rage. Like sometimes, like, yeah, you're gonna react, especially if it's like a very close call. um but for the most part, like if say someone's for no reason like flipping me off and driving around, like I'm not gonna get very upset and just like ride their tail, because
Right,
now I think about, oh, like, that person might just be having a bad day. Or
right,
it's the same concept of your bully. Say if you have a bully in school, all they are doing is just reflecting that the pain that they have in their own life.
right.
So if everyone just treats everyone with respect and with kindness and just giving them that space if they really need it, things would be a
I
whole
get.
lot calmer.
Okay, yeah, I'm not able to find it at all, but
Dang.
it was this guy that he was. You could tell he was very intelligent, and he was just explaining like how um, people go through their day-to-day lives not realizing that their lives are just as complicated as everybody else's. Like you never know what other people are going through, so don't be negative and try to be as uplifting to everybody as you possibly can, because at the same time you don't know what they're going through. They might be going through some complicated shit. Even though your life is good right now, that doesn't mean that if they accidentally like are dicks, maybe you don't need to be a dick back.
Yeah.
You could just brush it off, because you don't need to overcomplicate your life just because that shit happened to you and like stuff like that. And then at the end of the video, the person interviewing that kid, this was like in a mall, and he was like, "Are you AI?" Because like it was a like really like thought out answer,
Yeah.
but it makes you like put things into perspective,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think it finally clicked in my head what we're talking about, which I've listened to a few podcast episodes about, and it's karma.
Right.
You growing up were taught that karma is kind of like I what let me ask you that way, the honest answer. What, like, as a kid, what did you think karma was?
Like as a kid, like my first initial thought of karma was like you just if you do like negative bad things, you'll have negative bad things happen in your life.
Yeah.
If you do good things for the sake of just doing good and not for like just helping yourself, you might have like better opportunities. It might
Yeah.
not be something like, oh, you just randomly get gifted like something, but you start earning like better opportunities. Like stuff starts to like go more on your side
Yeah.
in a way.
It might not be the right term, but like a give take relationship.
Kind of, yeah. But you have to do it for the sake of giving and not because you like helping and
Yeah.
like being positive instead of like being positive just for things.
Right. Um, like you genuinely doing those and not even thinking about it.
Right.
Um, but God, I'm trying to remember what that podcast episode said. Because it was really interesting and it changed my perspective on karma, of like how to treat it. Um, I'm gonna have to listen to it again, and maybe we'll talk about it in another episode then,
Right.
because it was actually pretty interesting, and I'll take notes and everything.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, it's just weird how, say growing up, believed, that's what you're taught to believe that karma is. You're taught a certain way to act like all the time.
Right.
Um, I'm just, I got a high brain, man. I'm all over the place. I'm jibber jabbering. I guess to finish what I was saying is just, it's weird how growing up, everything was taught to us, because each generation that knowledge is passed down of like, oh, this is how you should do things. If you get sick, you go to the doctor. Nowadays,
Right.
things are completely different. like people are starting to realize that you don't go to the doctor just because you have a cold, because they're just going to say you have a virus and you can't do nothing about it.
Right. You're wasting it.
Um, and that just goes with everything in life. So I think it's awesome and crazy that we're finally getting to the point where we're listening to our bodies instead of listening to other people about
Right.
our bodies.
Because like we're as a whole, like the most of the American population, the health is declining instead of actually getting better.
Yeah.
Like we don't all eat healthy. Even if we try to get like healthier foods, they're still not as healthy.
Yeah.
That or that really healthy foods are extremely expensive, and like we're just poisoning ourselves instead of taking care of our bodies, mainly just because, for one, we weren't taught any better. We weren't taught that this stuff is cheap because it's bad for us, and it's not even cheap anymore most of the time.
It honestly, like, eating healthier, at least like when I started eating really healthy and working out and everything in high school, like right out of high school, um, it was pretty much the same as eating the not healthy stuff.
You see, that was a different time, though.
Yeah. But nowadays, it's like, I feel like I'm willing to take that sacrifice of paying an extra $50 a month just to get fresh vegetables.
Right.
And then,
We're
even then, if you do get vegetables, sometimes the organic stuff is literally the same price,
right.
depending on where you go.
Right.
So I
It's
didn't mean
not
to
that
cut you
way
off. Huh?
here. It is not that way here at all.
Really?
Yeah. So
Dang.
like, if I were to go to a Walmart, I still want to go to like a butcher to see like what those prices would be because I am curious. But like, if you were to go to Walmart to get like a normal thing of ground beef, it'd be like $6
Yeah.
for a pound. It's all right pricing, still quite a lot, but
Yeah.
uh, and then to get because we try to get organic grass fed stuff. That way, it's a little bit better, and that shit's fucking like $9.
Yeah. I mean, I can't go all out. Like,
Right,
we use the same lettuce for sandwiches, for tacos, same
right, yeah,
tomatoes for everything. But just recently, like, I've been getting some squash and zucchini squash
we
to
did the same
spice
shit.
up. Really?
Yeah, we just bought
That's nice.
zucchini for the first time
Uh,
like last week.
and Albertsons, they prepackage a bunch of stuff, and I really enjoy that's being cut. um I really enjoy, they have like these little trays about this big. They could see that. Of just mixed vegetables. It's got some squash, peppers, like bell peppers,
Right,
um carrots, like broccoli, all in one. And it's like $7. I'm like, I'll take it. That's like 4 meals right there for me. So
4 meals.
yeah, I find you gotta find some shortcuts, but like the better shortcuts that you still get the natural stuff. Because like they have the deli meat there with the fresh steaks and everything.
Right,
And they have this, uh, it's not the best Wagyu, but it's labeled Wagyu. But I
right.
just get the petite steaks. They're still like pretty, like they get like maybe an inch or two thick.
Okay,
And they're not the biggest, but like we don't need big steaks, you
right.
know, just a good portion. Um, and then I get some prepackaged chicken that's like $4. But
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, whenever you switch from eating unhealthy to trying to eat natural stuff or just eating naturally, um, you got to make small steps. You can't just switch from, eating frozen toaster strudels to eating open free range chicken beef.
that's the thing. You can though. That's
Well, like, you
because we're not
can.
supposed to be eating that stuff.
No, I know. What I'm saying is, like, start with the cheaper stuff, because the healthier stuff is a lot pricier. Like, it's gonna be like $5 more than the normal stuff. But if you're at least starting by eating the right portions, eating the right, getting the right nutrients on your plate first, and then switch to, like, say, organic if you want. Unless it is the same price, then get it.
You see, and this is the thing that I'm telling you. You're not seeing the problem. This
Oh,
isn't
okay.
supposed to be served to us. It's not even supposed to be on our shelves.
What
You
exactly?
know, this garbage food.
Oh, yeah, no.
And
Like,
that's the only reason why that food's so expensive is because all this garbage food is on our shelves. It's because we're allowed to put chemicals in our food up to a certain amount.
yeah. Like, literally, certain Oreos and I think a few other, like, cookie brands, or like certain bits of their snacks that they've made are like on a list to get banned. I was just like, I
Yeah,
mean, I don't really eat Oreos that much anymore. Like, maybe once in a blue moon. But it's just like, I eat that stuff and it hurts my stomach now.
right. And you notice that now.
Mm-hmm.
Like after like eating healthy,
Like,
and then
not
you're like, why are we getting fed this?
yeah, or even when you've just indulged on the negative stuff so much that your body is like literally screaming at you, like, this is not good. Like, you feel
Right.
terrible right now. Like, I'll
Like,
be honest, the last time I had Oreos, I'd eat a whole row each session. There's only 3 rows, I think, in a
yeah,
package. And so 3 goes, and every time my teeth would hurt, my stomach would hurt, and
yeah,
it was just like this gross, groggy feeling. And so I was like, all right, no more of
yeah,
that.
no more of that. But like, and then it's like really hard to find like healthier like snacks.
Oh my god, it's so hard, man. Because you got to make it all homemade, and that's
But there
expensive.
are companies that are coming out with it, but like
Mm,
same thing with like the meats. It's expensive because all this cheap snacks are there.
yeah,
Like if we just got fed our real food, if we didn't allow fucking chemicals and pesticides and all this shit into our food, we it would be cheap. Like,
yeah.
but like I don't know. It just sucks. I want to be able to eat a good quality meal.
It does suck because other countries, they've banned stuff,
Yeah,
like, so everything is natural, and like they
right.
live so much longer there.
And like
um,
all the people that are YouTubers that like travel and like record in the US, they always say when they go back, like they feel absolutely great because the meals are just so much like better and they
yeah,
like are actually nutritional. Like we're barely even getting the nutrients that we're supposed to be getting out of our food.
facts.
Like it doesn't compare to the food that is like overseas and where they don't allow all this shit to be put in there.
Yeah,
And like, yes, it tastes good. Okay, I understand that, but you can still make it healthily.
right.
You don't have to like. why are we poisoning us? And then we
Yeah.
got to go to the doctors, and then we're on medications for the rest of our life. And then, like, it's not supposed to be like this.
Yeah. Like, um, instead of waiting in line for an In-N-Out burger, like, because I mean, they do source natural stuff, but like obviously fast food is fast food. It's still going
Right.
to be high in calories, even though calories is a terrible way of measuring like food with energy for our
Right.
bodies. Because fun fact, they literally put the food in a container underwater and burn it, and
Mm-hmm.
how long it burns is how much energy it has.
Yeah, that don't make sense.
That has nothing to do with the human body, and that was done
Yeah,
in like the 70s, I think.
that
Don't
doesn't
quote
make
me
any
on
sense.
that, but yeah, it's crazy. Um, God, what? I got a little sidetracked. What was the thing?
Calories being. Oh, that was your fun
No,
fact.
yeah,
So,
before that.
um, talking about how like we can't get good food, all our food's bad, then we go to the hospital.
Oh, yeah. It's like instead of waiting at an In-N-Out to get a
Oh yeah,
burger for say like $4, you can go get the supplies for a burger, even like with healthy patties and everything like that, whether you make it yourself or prepackaged, whatever. Um, as long as it's good sourced, you have patties for like another few days. You get more for essentially the same price every day.
right.
Um, so, and I believe that a home cooked meal, even if it's just a home cooked burger, not even
So much
grilled,
better.
it's so much better. So much better. Something
Like
about it. I love cooking, though. I love cooking for a job, but I love cooking for family.
me
That's
too.
amazing. Like
I
making
do.
Thanksgiving dinner, that was fun.
I
It was
never did that.
stressful, but it was fun.
I would have freaked out.
I'll do it when I move.
I would have had a BF.
A BF?
A
I'm
BF.
not a BF, no.
I would have had a bitch fit. But the times need to start changing where we are able to like just make sure that all our food's natural.
Natural and easily accessible.
Exactly.
Like, dude, I lemons right now are literally the size of a baseball.
What?
Yeah, like literally they'll be like this big, if that
I
makes
never seen
sense.
11 that big. Holy shit.
Yeah, so fucking big for no reason. I was like, growing up, lemons are like this,
Like tiny
not
little
not a
things like
fucking
that.
baseball.
Like, and then limes would be a little bit smaller than lemons.
Yeah, and now they're just fucking big and everything's it just looks protruding out of it. Like it's on growth hormones. I'm like, no, thank you.
It is. It's taking steroids.
Literally.
It's getting ready for a weight competition.
Man, that's the thing though. Um, I've kind of looked into this topic too of just like how it all started because the human population was growing too fast
Right.
and didn't have enough food. And so they simply came up with a way, man made as everything, man made
Right.
is. Um, and they're like, this is a solution that's going to feed everyone, and that's what's important. So in the time, they did what they had to, but essentially fucked the future because, like you're saying, we're not getting the things that we need in our body.
Right. No other place takes vitamins. You know that?
I did not know that, actually. I might have known it, but I forgot.
Most places do not even have vitamins because they don't have to take vitamins
Yeah.
because they actually get it within their meals and shit like that. So many
Yeah.
people are on vitamins here.
I knew that like taking supplements and everything wasn't the best for you. Like obviously if you're deficient in something and you're just simply not getting it, then definitely like get that little bit of assistance. But again, try and get it naturally. So
Right.
like research different proteins that give different chemicals to you, like natural chemicals, different vegetables, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But then that's even more stuff that you got to pay.
But like that's the problem.
Yeah, and it sucks because depending on the meal, like I can make 2 batches of chicken noodle soup, like 8 cups for each batch, for $20. Yeah, all organic stuff too.
Right.
But then you go and make like a normal home cooked meal and it's 20. You can't survive
Right.
off of $20 a day, but that's only dinner. That's not including breakfast or lunch.
Right.
Like there's also a problem of people not eating breakfast because it's too expensive.
Well, also breakfast wasn't a thing until like I can't remember what time in the 1900s. Nobody ate breakfast until
Yeah.
because like we didn't know what breakfast was, but I think it was something. This is actually interesting. Let me see.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, like we're naturally supposed to be fasting.
Yeah.
Uh, but this says
Oh yeah. Oh man, I've dug so deep into all this stuff and it just kind of clicked about what we're talking about. I'm still pretty high. Because essentially what you're saying is back in the primal days, like there was no reason to eat in the morning, because we would mainly get hungry in the afternoon and we'd spend all morning and all day hunting, essentially,
right.
and gathering, doing other stuff. So it's essentially like, 2 meals a day is what our bodies should be having.
And then like with what we were um, like eating in those times, since it was fulfilling and actually had all the nutrients, it kept us until the next time we ate.
Yeah,
Like,
it kept us full so much longer. Um, yeah, because so much research came out. Again, we're gonna talk about this in another episode because this is so
yeah,
interesting. And I'll send you stuff too. But if we eat, say, fast food, like this ties into me saying like I eat my vegetables first, then protein, and then starches,
right,
because the vegetables line your intestines with fiber because vegetables are pretty much all fiber, and it slows down your digestion, helps, and with it slowing down, your body can take in more nutrients, slows down digestion, so you're fuller for longer. Um, but yeah, God, another tangent. But um, with what you were saying of blanking, I don't know why I'm still talking.
I did
um,
find the article.
okay, yeah. Read from the article. Save me,
Okay,
please.
so this is on tastingtable.com, but this is saying that The idea that breakfast is the most important meal of the day was just a marketing campaign put forth by General Mills in the 40s.
Mm.
And it mentions today's science doesn't state that breakfast isn't important, um, but like 90% of people didn't eat breakfast because it wasn't like needed. But like they made a lot of money by saying, oh, it's the most important meal of the day. You have to make sure you're eating 3 times a day. Breakfast is good for you and stuff like that.
Mm. Oh,
So like
right.
so like people didn't really eat much like stuff like bacon and stuff like that before that time. Like for like it like all of a sudden all these things became strictly a breakfast thing.
Yeah. But in reality, all this breakfast stuff should be like dessert.
Yeah, you're eating the stuff after.
Yeah. Um, the way I've always thought about it is I've always naturally skipped breakfast. Um, but I've learned over the years that it also like, and again, we can get into fasting. That's a whole nother episode. But like, it helps push out the toxins in your body. So
Mm-hmm.
like your body's done digesting, everything is taken in the nutrients. Now it has time to purge the bad
Right.
stuff instead of eating, at a snack right after you eat or, whatever.
Everything getting clogged.
Yeah, like it's just constantly working. You gotta give it a break.
That actually makes a lot of sense. I never looked at it like that. But oh fuck.
This was a wild ride of an episode. Sorry about that, guys. All over the place today.
I almost got mad there. I'm just kidding.
Let's see. I believe we are pretty much at an hour, though. Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in on this episode of the Three Buds One podcast. We appreciate you guys so much for tuning in today. This is the 4th episode. Yep, this is the 4th episode. So make sure to tune in next Saturday
At noon.
at noon. Yep, next Saturday at noon for the next episode of
Episode
the Three Buds
5.
One podcast. Episode 5. Down in the comments, if you're on YouTube, there is a email that you guys can contact us. Send us, your suggestions, your stories. Companies want to reach out, anything. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
Stuff that you guys want us to talk about.
Yeah, or even leave it down in the comments. Leave a rating on the podcast. We're on Spotify, Audible, iHeartRadio. Go give us a
You
follow. Leave a review. Yeah, YouTube. We'll see you
thank you guys
guys
so much.
next week.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace and love.
The most